Hey there, tech fans. Today I've got the brand new Orei WUDH3-66M-K wireless HDMI extension kit. This product makes it incredibly easy for you to share all of your HDMI media content from one location with a second remote location up to 66 feet away over a wireless connection. The product fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content and is both HDMI 1.4 as well as HDCP 1.4 compliant, which means it's plug and play compatible with all of your modern media equipment. And it's a really easy product to use. You'll basically plug the transmitter into an open HDMI port on your media device and plug the receiver into an open HDMI port on your monitor. They'll sync up and you can start sharing your content. Now, as part of this review, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and then I'll take a closer look at the transmitter module and the receiver module and explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to use it. I'll also do a short demonstration to show you just how easy this product is to use with your own gear, and I'll come back one more time and point out a few special features that this product provides that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you pop open the box, there's not a lot inside. You'll find a transmitter module and a receiver module and two power supply connections. This is a USB-A to micro USB cable. You'll plug this into the transmitter and the receiver, and the USB-A end can plug into a wall charger, or if you have an open USB-A port on your monitor and your media device, you can plug it in there, and that'll provide all the power you'll need for operation. You'll also find a full instruction manual included that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and a lot of other really good information about the product that you'll need to understand in order to use it correctly. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at both modules, I'll do the demonstration, and then I'll come back and point out a few things that I really like about this kit that make it incredibly easy for you to share content from one location to another by simply plugging them in. Inside the kit, you'll find a transmitter and a receiver module. Both of these feature high-impact plastic cases, which make them small, portable, and incredibly durable. Let's start with the transmitter module first. You'll notice ventilation slots on the side and on the bottom, and those are designed to let any heat that develops during Operation escape and keep the electronics inside at a really comfortable temperature. On the top surface, you'll find two indicators right here. The bottom one is power. The minute you add power to the module, it starts an internal power on self-test where it checks the electronics. Once it passes that, it'll light that LED letting you know it's ready to use. Above that is a Wi-Fi indicator. That will flash slowly as the two modules are communicating until they establish a connection. Once that connection is established, it'll be on solid. So under normal operation, both of those LEDs should be lit, red and blue. On the bottom is a channel select button. If you're in an environment with a lot of Wi-Fi interference, you can select a new channel by tapping that button on both the transmitter and the receiver. On the one end of the transmitter, you'll find a heavy-duty flexible cable that ends in an HDMI connection. You'll plug this into whatever media device you'd like to share the content from with the remote location. Finally, on the side of the unit is a micro USB port that's labeled upgrade and DC 5 volts. This is where you use the power cable. You'll plug the micro USB end in here and plug the other end either into an open USB-A port on your media device or to a wall charger. This can also be used for updating the firmware in the module if needed later on by simply connecting this to a computer, moving the firmware file to the transmitter to complete that upgrade. The receiver is very similar. Again, high impact plastic, power indicator, Wi-Fi indicator, flexible cable with an HDMI connection on the end. This plugs into whatever monitor you'd like to enjoy the content on. You'll also find ventilation slots, just like on the transmitter module. And on the right-hand side, you'll find that micro USB port that's used for upgrading the firmware and for power. So plug that micro USB in here. The USB-A gets plugged into a wall charger or an open USB-A port on your media device. And that's pretty much it for the two of them. Now I'll show you just how easy it'll be to use this product with your own equipment. And for this demonstration, over here I've set up a small media player that's currently looping a video on this monitor, and that's the media content I'd like to share with my remote location. Now this can be any device with an HDMI output like a DVD player, a game console, a computer, anything that outputs a standard HDMI signal. Over here I've set up another monitor, and this represents the remote location where I'd like to enjoy the content, and these can be up to 66 feet apart. In front of me, I have the transmitter and the receiver module. Now, the first connection I'll make to both modules is the power supply. I've already plugged the power supply in over here. The other end of that cable is a micro USB connection on it, which plugs directly into the transmitter module. And the minute I add power, it starts an internal power on self-test where it's checking the electronics. I'll do the same now for the receiver. Another power supply plugged in over here, and I've made that connection. And now we're ready to connect the modules up to the media player and the monitor. Over here, I'll disconnect the HDMI cable from the media player, and I'll plug this HDMI connection directly into the output on that media player. And I'll plug this one directly into the HDMI input port on the back of the monitor. Now, the power on self-test takes a couple of seconds to complete. Once that's done, they start looking for each other over that Wi-Fi connection. They'll sync up. And this is checking the resolution of the media player. This one's checking the resolution of the monitor. During that handshake process, they'll negotiate the best possible output. And there you go. So what you're viewing over here is content from a media player being sent over a wireless connection to the receiver, converted back into an HDMI signal for display in that monitor. And again, these can be up to 66 feet apart, and you can move this around as you need to because you've made a wireless connection. And it really is just that easy to get it working. I hope that closer look and demonstration were helpful. Now here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the Orei WUDH3-66M-K wireless HDMI extension kit with other products you may be considering. The first thing has to do with the distance that the product supports between the primary and secondary locations. With this unit, you have a full 66 feet of distance between where your media device is located and where the monitor is going to be placed where you're enjoying the content. A lot of other kits on the market have a much shorter distance they support, maybe 20 or 30 feet, which really limits the flexibility of where you locate that monitor. So knowing you've got a full 66 feet of distance means you have a lot more flexibility in putting the monitor exactly where you need it to enjoy that content. The certifications are important as well. This product is both HDMI 1.4 and HDCP 1.4 certified, which means it'll work with most modern media equipment. The HDMI certification is important because there have been a lot of changes in the HDMI standard over the years, and there have been a lot of new advanced features introduced as well. So knowing you're on the latest version of HDMI for an HD content transmission means you're going to be able to take advantage of all those features immediately when you plug the unit in. And the HDCP certification is important as well because that controls copy protection. So knowing you're on one of the latest versions of HDCP means you can play a wider variety of files. One final thing is that this unit fully supports 4K ultra high definition media content. A lot of other products on the market may reduce that resolution to 1080p or even 720. So again, I've got high resolution transmission for up to 66 feet between my primary and secondary locations over that wireless connection. So hopefully you found this review helpful, and until next time, as always, stay nerdy.